So what does it really mean to be an expert in today's world? Is it just about knowing one thing inside and out? Or is it about something more? Is it about connecting different skills in a way nobody else can? Let's dive into this by taking a look at the career of Claudia Reid, because her story is just a fantastic roadmap for what a modern expert looks like.
And her own professional description well, it nails it. A unique combination of technical knowledge, strategic leadership, and hands-on problem solving. See, we're not just talking about a single job title here. We're talking about a blend, a synthesis of deep, practical, in-the-weeds knowledge, combined with that big picture, strategic point of view.
So how in the world do you build a combination like that? Well, it doesn't just happen overnight. It all starts with a really deep, specialized foundation. Before you can connect the dots, you have to master each and every one of those dots. For Claudia, that foundation was forged over decades in the super demanding world of finance.
And we are talking some serious depth here. Over 20 years spent deep in the trenches of the mortgage industry. This isn't just a brief stop on a resume. This is a career dedicated to understanding the complex machinery of lending and risk from the absolute inside out.
If you look at her journey, you can see this clear, deliberate progression. She kicks things off as a processor at Chase way back in 2002, then levels up to senior loan underwriter, and then into this dual role at Wells Fargo. You can literally trace the path, each step adding another layer of complexity, another level of responsibility. She went from handling standard loans to tackling the really tricky cases, like for self-employed borrowers.
And this, right here, is where the rubber meets the road. This is the tangible proof of that deep expertise. We're not just talking about ideas, we're talking specific hard skills. Underwriting platforms like Encompass, mastering every single major loan type out there, and those core skills like risk assessment and regulatory compliance. This is that bedrock we were talking about. This is what gives her that hands-on technical credibility that you just can't fake.
But here's where the story gets really interesting. Mastering one field, even at this level, wasn't the end of it. With that deep financial foundation locked in, Claudia makes this huge pivot, a shift from being a specialist focused on individual loans to becoming a strategist focused on entire systems and projects. And that's the big question, isn't it? How do you actually make that leap? It's a journey that means taking all that deep, narrow expertise and learning how to apply its principles to much, much bigger problems. So let's see exactly how she pulled it off. Okay, so her first step was a really smart bridge. At Fiserv, she started managing banking software implementations. Think about that. She was no longer just using the systems. She was now leading the charge to deploy those systems for other banks. She was cashing in on all her user expertise to become a leader in technology. Then came the real stress test. She moves into the retail world with Giant Eagle, managing these massive rollouts of point-of-sale and inventory systems. This right here proved that her project management jobs weren't just a finance thing. Nope. She could handle complexity in pretty much any industry you threw at her. And finally, she brings it all full circle, managing these huge, complex real estate development projects. This role required everything she'd ever learned. Her financial smarts for negotiating loans, her market analysis skills, and that top-tier project management expertise to handle risks and juggle dozens of vendors. It's the perfect synthesis of her entire career. So let's pause for a second. We've got these two incredibly powerful parallel career tracks running, the deep dive financial specialist and the super versatile project strategist. What's the next logical step? Well, you merge them into one single, incredibly high-impact role.
And that brings us to her current role, a PMO business consultant. Now, a PMO, or Project Management Office consultant, basically helps companies get way better at running their projects. Lots of people can manage a timeline, but Claudia's edge, her secret weapon, is bringing those 2+ decades of financial and regulatory knowledge to the game. She makes sure projects aren't just on time, but that they're also safe, compliant, and frankly, just plain smart.
And her playbook for this is methodical and crystal clear. First, she checks out how a company is currently running projects. Then she puts standards in place to make things consistent. Step 3, she makes sure those projects actually line up with the company's real goals. Then, she coaches the whole team to help them succeed. But that last step, ensuring compliance, that's where her deep financial background becomes an absolute superpower.
But the evolution doesn't stop there, not even close. The final stage in the anatomy of a modern expert is moving beyond just doing the work. It's about teaching, sharing, and shaping the entire conversation for everybody else.
So she expands her impact in 3 really key ways. First, she's an author, taking all that complex experience and boiling it down into practical books. Second, she shares her knowledge directly with the world on her YouTube channel. And third, she's never, ever done learning herself. She's recently added certifications in AI and cloud migration, making sure she's always on the cutting edge.
I mean, just think about this transformation for a second. From underwriting one complex loan to consulting on entire project portfolios. From processing a single application to writing a book on business strategy that can help thousands. From delivering one project to sharing her expertise with a global audience online. That is a massive shift from individual work to exponential impact.
So this whole story leaves us with a really crucial question for all of us. In a world that is always changing, is the most valuable skill we can have the ability to combine different kinds of expertise? Claudia Reid's career really suggests that true modern expertise isn't just about digging one deep well. It's about building that strong foundation and then having the vision to connect it with other fields, creating a value that is totally uniquely your own. It kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? What expertise could you combine?